Tired of trying to get your puppy to ring that bell? Well, today we're going to talk about the ins and the outs of puppy potty training. My name is Holly Ferguson. I'm a retired dog trainer. I've trained thousands of dogs, and I'm here to help you today to get the best puppy that you could possibly have. Today's topic is potty training. When I potty train puppies, I work on teaching a potty command.
Go potty. Good boy, Maurice.
And I do that in 3 different steps. The first step of potty training is to teach the puppy to go outside. The second step of potty training is to teach the puppy to hold it. And the third step of potty training is to teach the puppy that under no circumstances are they to go in the house. We're going to start this process. We're going to talk about the smallest puppies. So let's say you have an 8-week to 10-week-old puppy. Chances are that they cannot control their pottying at all. So basically, if they were infants, they would be in diapers right now. They wouldn't have the ability to say, I have to go potty, take me to the toilet. They just go when they go. This is your job to take the puppy outside on a regular basis. And on a regular basis for a puppy that small is every 15 minutes when the puppy is out. And other than that, it's right after they eat. Right after they eat, things go through that little body so quickly. Right after they drink, when they start to play, because things start to move when they start to play. And then as soon as they wake up, because they're always ready to go potty as soon as they wake up. So if you have a puppy that's small and the puppy has an accident in the house, just take the puppy outside, clean up the potty accident. And the way you clean it up is if it's on a hard surface, you're going to wipe it up completely, and then you're going to spray down some enzymatic cleaner. I like to use Zapsit. That's my favorite. You can get it on Amazon. And you just leave it. Don't wipe up the enzymatic cleaner, because as it dries, that's when it does its work. If your puppy potties on something soft, you're going to want to soak it up as much as possible by dabbing a towel or paper towels into it. And then you're going to pour, not spray, enzymatic cleaner on the spot, cover the whole spot, and you want it to soak in and kind of spread out just like the potty does. And again, you're not going to sop it up. You can sop it up a little bit because it's going to stay wet, because if it's soft and porous, it'll do that. And then you can put a towel or a washcloth or something over that spot. So if it's on the rug and people walk by, they won't get the dirt from their shoes or their feet on the rug. Once your puppy is old enough to control their pottying, that's when you're going to start working to teach them to hold it. And so I would say probably 12 to 14 weeks is when they can do that. You'll notice they'll be getting bigger, they'll hold it longer, and then that's your cue to take them out less frequently. You'll notice that they'll get bigger. There'll be more time between the times that they potty, and that's your cue to make the intervals longer. So with the little puppies, when they can't hold it, I generally take them to the potty spot every 15 minutes or so when they're up and around. If they're in their crate, of course, they can just stay in their crate while they're sleeping. But as soon as they wake up, they go outside. Once you hit this spot where they're starting to hold it longer and longer, you're going to increase those intervals by about 5 minutes. So when you first start out, it will be every 15 minutes while they're up and awake. And then you will make it every 20 minutes, then every 25 minutes, and maybe like 3 or 4 days up to a week in between these intervals. When you take your puppy outside, as soon as those feet hit the grass, you are going to tell your puppy, go potty, or whatever potty command you want. I had one woman say, make a wee. She was from South Africa. I had another man who was into musical theater who sang, potty, potty, potty time. The iconic song from Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, that Snoopy sings with a little bit of a difference. And then some people say, hurry up. Some people say, let's go, whatever it is that you want to say, just always be consistent. Your potty command must be the same every time. So you're going to give your dog the potty command, and you're going to give your puppy 5 minutes to go potty. Now that doesn't sound like much, but that's plenty of time to potty. And what we want to do is teach the puppy, number one, that they go when we give the potty command, and number two, they can't take all day. We're not walking 45 minutes in the rain waiting for them to potty. They can go, or they can come in and either be held or put in the crate. But if they do go, you're going to have treats with you. And as soon as they get done going, not during, because we don't want to surprise them and stop them, you're going to say, "Good dog," and you're going to hand your puppy the treat. And you can stay outside as long as you want. You don't necessarily have to give the potty command anymore, but if you stay outside for longer than just a potty time and they go potty, as soon as they're done, it's the same thing. Good boy, good girl, good dog, whatever it is you say, and that reward, because we want them to know that's where we potty in a way that allows us to continue to survive. And that's what food is. It's the currency of survival. If your puppy doesn't go within 5 minutes, you're going to bring the puppy back inside. Now, you have two choices here. You can either put them in the crate if they stay pretty dry in the crate, or you can hold them and not let their feet touch the ground. This isn't a reward. They're not connecting those two things. It's just keeping the puppy from being on the floor and pottying. And so another 15 or 20 minutes, wherever you're at, you're going to take the puppy out and you're going to do it again. And once the puppy potties outside, then the puppy can come in for the allotted time. And then you're going to start the process over again, unless it's time for that crate break, so that they can learn to hold it even longer. So you want to make sure that the puppy has several crate breaks during the day where they're in the crate, starting at about an hour, maybe at 10 to 12 weeks. And then when they wake up, out they go. So you want to do that several times a day. Once your puppy starts to understand what's going on with this potty command, they're going to potty more quickly. And then eventually they may start to potty once, and you're like, "Good dog," you give them the treat. And then they may take several steps and squat and pretend to potty or just dribble a little bit. That's okay. That shows that they're learning what gets the reward, this currency of survival. And so you're still going to praise that, and you're still going to offer them a treat, because they're not faking. They're trying to go potty, and whether there's anything left or not, it doesn't matter. They're trying to go potty, and that's what we want. So they may do that 2 or 3 times. Don't worry about it. It's all reinforcement. Once your puppy reaches about 45 minutes to an hour between their potty breaks, you're going to start teaching your puppy not to go inside. And the way we teach them that is to have them in the room with us at a time when we are able to watch them constantly. You have to be eagle-eyed. And so the puppy's going to be in just one room with you, unless you're going to follow the puppy around, which is exhausting sometimes. And you're going to just play with them, have a good time, focus on them. If they start to go any place where you think they might want to potty, in a corner, behind a chair, something like that, you're going to call them over to you, you're going to reward them, and you're going to play again. And then you're going to kind of just relax and watch the puppy. And if the puppy starts to sniff, we're not going to wait till the puppy squats down, does the little turns, all of that. If the puppy just starts to sniff, you're going to grab the puppy up. You're going to take the puppy outside and say, "Go potty," or whatever your potty command is. And if the puppy goes, "Good dog," you're going to give them a reward. It's all going to be good and fine. If they don't go, you're going to come in and you're going to do the crate or the hold for another 15 minutes. You're going to take them out every 15 minutes until they go outside. Now, you want that grab up to be kind of quick and not necessarily gentle. You don't want to scare the dog, but what you want to do is kind of disrupt the dog, because otherwise you're going to pick up a puppy who's going to start peeing while you pick them up, but you want them to kind of go, "Whoop, not here." So you're going to grab them up and take them outside and start the process all over again. Now, you don't have to do this all throughout the day. Once or twice a day is enough to teach them not to go inside. So once you get to that point, of course, you always want to watch them when they're puppies. Once you get to that point, and by now we're 3-4 months along here, maybe 5, depending on your dog. All dogs are different. Then you're going to start working on a schedule. So this is different than how a lot of people want to potty train, where they want their dog to signal. But we don't do that as human beings. We get up in the morning, we go to the bathroom. We get ready for work or school, we go to the bathroom. We have a break in the middle of the day, whether you feel like you have to go to the bathroom or not, you go to the bathroom. Lunchtime, you take another potty break. Come home from work, you might take another potty break. That's kind of how our day goes. It's a sequence. And so we want to teach the dog this kind of sequence idea so that they know that they can hold it, because at a certain point they're going to be going out to potty. So the sequence might look like this. In the morning they wake up, good dog, get them out of the crate, and out they go. And the first thing they do is potty, take your treats with you, reward, that's a good dog. Food and water, then they go back outside again. Especially with young dogs, I like to do 2 potty breaks in the morning. I actually like to do that with older dogs too, but it's not as important. So they wake up, they potty, they eat and drink, they go potty, and then they get some free time in the house. Of course, with you watching them, because they're not potty trained yet. So you're going to keep an eye on them. And then they can have a crate break. They've played, they've eaten, they've pottied. They can go in the crate for a little while, and you can either give them something to chew on, which is a good skill, to teach a puppy to chew on something while they're in their crate, or they can just take a nap. And then when you're ready for the next potty break, out they go, and then they get some time in the house with you watching them, always in the same room with them, or I should say, they're always in the same room with you. And then if they're very young and they're just starting this, you may want another potty break right before lunch. And so you take them outside, you go through the same thing, they get some more time in the house, and then you continue your day like that, so that they start to know that eventually there's going to be a time to go outside, and that they don't have to go inside. They've learned not to go inside, but if they think they have no choice, then they're going to go inside. So you want to start this sequence, and you want to get them used to the idea that when you wake up, you're going to go outside. After you eat, you're going to go outside. In the middle of the day, you're going to have a potty break. Around dinner, you're going to have a potty break. Around bedtime, you're going to have a potty break. And of course, in between, you can take the walks. And now your walks aren't a struggle because you're not worried about your puppy pottying. You're just walking. They may potty, good dog, reward. You can have playtimes outside. You can do other things outside where they have a chance to potty too, but they're definitely going to have these potty breaks. So right now in my house, it's kind of what it is. Like, they don't get 2 potty breaks in the morning. They're both older. So we get up, we go outside in the morning. I spend about 15 minutes out there with them because I look through the garden. I see what might be ripe that day, what work needs to be done. And then I come inside. We don't eat breakfast. We only eat at night. So then we just kind of start our day. And after I get kind of my morning routine done, then I take them outside. And then right after I eat lunch, I take them outside. If I'm home in the afternoon, I'll take them out about 3 or 4. Then I'll take them out after dinner. And then one more time at the end of the day, right before we go to bed. And so they don't have to signal to let me know I'm taking them out frequently enough, and I've taught them that there will be a potty break, that they don't have to signal to let me know to go outside. Now, if they're having an issue, if they're having a stomach issue, or maybe they drank more water than they should because they didn't want to share the water bowl, then they know that they're supposed to go outside and they're not going to find a place in the house to potty. That's when they're going to go to the door that we go out to potty, because they know that's the way. And then I can see them sitting at the door, which is fortunately, it's this door back here. Oops. Yeah, it's this door back here. So it's right by my computer. so I know that they have to go. Sometimes they sit there because they want to go out and play, which is fine. Sometimes I'm ready to go outside and play and spend some time in the sunshine in the garden. But they're not just signaling when they have to go. Only when it's an emergency do they signal. Other than that, we go frequently enough that it's not an issue. So those are the steps to get your dog to the point where they're potty trained. If you're always waiting for them to signal, there's lots of chances to make accidents. So you want to make sure that you take your puppy out frequently when they can't hold it. You start to help them increase the time between potty breaks when they're getting older. Then you want to teach them not to go in the house, and then you want to put them on a schedule. And each time you take your dog to potty, you're going to reward them at this point in their life. You're going to say, "Good dog," and you're going to offer them a treat. Nothing helps set a behavior better than food. Food is the currency of survival, and that's what we're going to reward with. If you're walking your dog to potty, you follow the same rules, except that you take your dog out on a leash. When you tell your dog to go potty, you stop moving. Dogs aren't sniffing to see where they need to potty. They may decide to potty somewhere because there might be another male that just peed there or something like that. But if you do that, you're going to end up having a dog that sniffs all over the place. What we want is for a dog to potty. Right now, when I take my dogs outside and I say go potty, they squat down and they go potty. Also, dogs don't necessarily have to go for a full walk for pottying. I don't know why somebody decided that dogs would always prefer to be outside than inside. Dogs basically want to be with you. And so if you go outside and it's potty time and that's all you're out there for, and you're on a leash and you go to the corner and you say go potty, you can go right back in the house. That's no problem. I've lived in apartments and I've lived in a house without a yard. And that's exactly what I did. Sometimes we went for walks. Sometimes we just went out to potty because of the sequence. Let's talk about nighttime pottying, because little puppies can't hold it all night long. But what we don't want to do is train them to wake us up. So when you bring a puppy home, it's a good idea to set them on a schedule. And you might not get it right the first couple of nights because you have to know what their sleep schedule is. But let's say you come home and the first night your puppy wakes up and they wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And they wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so, and you put your puppy to bed about 10 o'clock. So that means you're going to put your puppy to bed about 10 o'clock after they potty. And then if they usually get up about 1 o'clock, you're going to set your alarm for 12:45. You're going to wake up, and without turning a lot of lights on, you're going to quietly take your puppy outside, put them on the grass, tell them quietly to go potty, give them a reward when they do, and then quietly put them back in the crate. That way you don't have a puppy who has to wake up fully and start wailing and crying, and you're like, "Oh, I'm coming." Just like, wake up, gently take the puppy outside, put the puppy back in. No playing, no extra talking, just it's nighttime, and we're going to treat it like nighttime. And then the next time they wake up is usually at 3 o'clock, so you're going to set your alarm for 2:45, and then 6 o'clock, 5:45. Now that sounds like a lot of time just to wake up, but the puppy's going to wake you up anyway. And this way, it's even more gentle for you because you're just waking up to this alarm or whatever it is you're using, and you're quietly in the dark, in the semi-darkness, taking your puppy out, quietly putting them back. It's a lot easier for you. Once you do that for a few nights, then you're going to start changing the times for you to get up. And you're going to start basically with the three that are closest together. You're going to start with that middle one. So we now have bedtime at 10, first wake up at 11:45, second wake up, I think is what we decided, 12:45, 2:45, and 5:45. So let's work on the one in the middle at 2:45, and you're going to make it to 3. And then after a few nights, you're going to go to 3:15. And then you're going to keep that at 3:15, but you're going to maybe move up the 12:45 one to 1 o'clock and make that a few clicks of 15 minutes closer to the second one until those two combine. So then you're putting the puppy to bed about 10. And then you're getting up once at 2 o'clock and then once at 5:45. And once you do that, then you're going to start working with that one. So now you've got 3. You're going to start working with the middle one to move it closer in 15-minute increments to 6 o'clock. And how quickly you do that depends on your puppy. But I like to go 15-minute increments, and I like to do it like every few nights, less than a week, because they mature rather quickly. So that's how you get through the night with the puppy. You put yourself in control. The puppy doesn't learn to wake you up at night, doesn't learn to wake you up in the morning. You wake the puppy up in the morning. And that will be addressed even further in crate training, because we don't want our puppies to wake us up in the morning. We want to be able to sleep in if we need to. So what if you are litter training or pad training your dog? First of all, I would suggest using pads and not litter. Dogs are not like cats. They don't, dig around in the dirt. If they scratch, it's to spread feces all over so that it covers a bigger area. It's not necessarily to cover their poop up. So they like something solid under their feet. So I would suggest pads. Cheaper, easier, and the dogs definitely prefer them. I've had to litter train dogs for people who would not listen to me. And it's much more difficult than pad training dogs. But you're following the same process, except your potty spot is not outside in the backyard or out the front door on a leash. It's just taking the dog to the potty spot, which is the pad. If your dog doesn't want to stay on the pad, you just put the puppy on a leash, and the puppy can't walk off. And you just kind of hold it up so that it can't just go wherever it wants. And you do the same thing. You're going to teach a potty command, you're going to use treats, and you're going to work on making the intervals longer and longer, and then you're going to work on a schedule. Even though the potty pad will be available almost all the time, unless you've got something like a back porch or a balcony that you're using, still the same thing. Same potty training method, except the potty place is a small pad somewhere in the house or just outside the house. So that makes it kind of easy. There's nothing special that you have to do with it. Now, what if you work? You're not there all day long. First of all, I would suggest always trying to get a puppy at a time when you have a few days off. That few days is going to be a big help. But if you can't do that, you definitely want to have the puppy in a crate. We don't want the puppy to get into trouble. But we also don't want the puppy to potty in the crate. So if the puppy is so young, like let's say 8 weeks, that you know that it's not going to be able to hold it during the time that you're gone, then you want to put it in a pen and you want to put some pads out so that the puppy has something that will soak up the pee. Remember, because the puppy can't hold it, so we don't want to put the puppy in a situation where he's going to fail by pottying in the crate. And I've trained many what we call dirty dogs who haven't learned to hold it in the crate, and that was usually caused by people just putting the puppy in the crate and being gone all day, and then they just get used to going and being in their own waste. And that's a long process, and that was a very expensive process because we couldn't use the crate to help teach them to hold it longer and longer. We literally had to hold them in our arms. So there would be one person who was in charge of that puppy so that we could finally teach the puppy to go elsewhere and not in the crate. You want to have a place that's not the crate for the puppy to potty during the day. And then when you get home, you're going to switch over to the crate method, where you're going to use the crate for teaching them to hold it longer for them to sleep in, so that they are set up for success. And as they get older, then eventually you can use the crate more and more. If you can, try to hire somebody to take the puppy out twice a day, or have a neighbor or a family member 2 or 3 times a day when they're very young, twice a day when they're a little bit older, and once a day when they're even a little bit older and they can spend most of the time in the crate, but they definitely need a potty break during the day. That way your puppy is always set up for success. So if you have any questions about potty training, be sure to make a comment below. Let me know if you try the things that I've said. I know they're successful. I've used them for the last 20 years. And let me know what else you would like me to talk about. So also be sure to like and be sure to subscribe. And if you want to get notification for future videos, definitely hit the bell so that we can notify you. And good luck with your puppies. I am here for you. If you have any questions or any problems, I'm more than happy to help you work through them. So thanks, and have fun with your dog.